a little bit more experience to give us a definitive answer here. Let's do this. Our question of the day today had to do with today's medical testimony. And based on the family's suspicion here, should authorities have been contacted earlier? We asked you to be the 13th juror, and you have answered our call. In session, law enforcement contributor Mike Brooks and criminal defense attorney Joanna Greenwald are here to help me take your calls, along with Dr. Chafee. And let's begin with Darcy, who's in Indiana this morning. Good morning, Darcy.
Good morning, Vinny. I believe that the adults in the family knew, some of them knew, and some of them were in denial, but the others didn't want to get Jamar in trouble. And this cold and calculated, callous murder could have been prevented.
Could have been prevented. Thanks so much for the call, Darcy. And how about that, Mike Brooks? Do you think here that if there had been action earlier, if authorities had been called, at the first time there was a suspicion here that something happened?
Well, it seems...
Or the treating physicians or nurses at the hospital. That's a good point. Let's go to another call. We've got Regina, who's in North Carolina. Good morning, Regina.
Good morning, Vinny. I believe that the family did exactly what they were supposed to do. As a family, you should gather all the facts before calling the authorities. If you follow suspicions all the time, the cops would be busy all the time. You need proof.
Okay, thanks so much, Regina. That's another great point. Joanna, how about that? The family did take some action, didn't they?
They're a little bit too late. If you have a child that comes to you and says that something happened, you don't call the police. Mr. Brooks is a former police officer, and I would call him, Mr. Brooks, I would call you first. Before even going, yes, you.
Thank you,
You, I would call first.
Yep.
That's how bad it must be. I call you first because before even the hospital, if I have a feeling that, God forbid, something this horrific happens, you call the police. And you want to know something? That's what they're there for, to serve and to protect. And if they're busy, they're meant to be busy to protect us and the people of the United States.
And most police departments have units specifically dealing with children's issues, a youth division. Most departments have that.
Okay, let's go to another call. We've got Susan, who's with us this morning in North Carolina. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning. I believe absolutely that the boy would have had a chance at justice if law enforcement had been called. It would have given both sides a fair shot at justice. Nothing was done to protect this boy's rights, and I think the ER failed everybody when they failed to call law enforcement at the very moment that they brought in. Of course, I don't think they suspected that there was any credibility in their claim of sexual abuse coming from their examination.
Susan, thanks so much. Really do appreciate it. Let's bring back in the doctor. Dr. Chafee, what obligations, ethically, legally, do doctors or someone treat?
They're actually removed until everything's kind of determined what really happened. And that's what's unfortunate about this story, because clearly I think
if that would have happened, perhaps this tragedy doesn't take place.
It didn't happen.
Yeah,
exactly.
Joanna, Mike Brooks, Dr. Chafee, thank you all so much. Really do appreciate it. All right, that does it for me. Up next, Ryan Smith will steer you through this afternoon.